NetEase Games launched a new Overwatch-esque game using Marvel characters. It is free to play on Steam, which is nice. We always like stuff that gives you some entertainment for no money. Both Jay and I have spent a little bit of time with it, so we're going to kind of run through our initial thoughts. Jay, I think you've probably got a little bit more time in it than I do.
Yep.
What's your broad first impressions of the game?
All right. So after playing 900 hours, um, God, I still just die so much. It's fun. It's a fun game. It is very much like Overwatch, Valorant, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's quick. It's easy. It's fun. I always like these type of games when like I don't want to get too immersed into a storyline because I have to like go to work in like 3 hours and I need to go to sleep still. Blah blah blah. Whatever. I don't know. But it's fun and oh gosh, I'm just like obsessed with the little Jeff guy, the little shark.
There's a little shark.
He's so cute, and I feel like he is very overpowered. Like, oh my gosh. But no, it's a fun game. They do have a battle pass that you can buy and then like get like coins or whatever, and then go to the shop and unlock more characters and stuff. But my first reaction is that it's fun. I like it. I love that it's in the Marvel universe, and yeah, I'm gonna continue to play it like in between some of these like story games. What about you?
Yeah, so I want to reiterate something you have. Again, like I kind of put games into two kind of categories where like with the Cyberpunk 2077, like we were talking about earlier in the show, like if you can't sit and play that for 20 minutes and just walk away, like you've got to have a couple hours to like kind of work through some stuff. This is the kind of game that if you've got 20, 30 minutes, you can get a match in or two. I'm curious if you had the same experience as me. I found matchmaking was really fast.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like quick match is like, oh, you're in. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, and I like that. Um, it's a third person shooter.
Yeah.
Um, which is interesting. I also like the fact that I got some hand to hand in there and some range. Besides Jeff, have you locked on any other characters you really like?
So I unlocked the Scarlet Witch
Uh huh.
shop. I'm trying to like her. She has the ability where she can like hover, and I think she's kind of invisible at the times.
Yeah.
I think. And she's like okay. Now I will say I've seen people play Venom, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get into Venom because Venom looks so sick. But yeah, right now I've only played I think like Jeff and Scarlet Witch.
Okay. Um,
What about?
I spent a little bit of time before I got into a match in the like tutorial arena where it's just an open space
Oh,
to do
okay.
stuff. Um, kind of like getting a feel for like, all right, your rate of fire is this, and this is kind of this, and da 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 da. So far I've had the most success with Hawkeye.
Really?
Um, because I figured out that like there's some element to it who like how long you hold his bow pull
Okay.
and damage. Like if you hold it down for a second and like
Charges up.
right, like I was hitting guys for half to three quarters of their life in a single
Dang.
arrow. So I was having some fun with Hawkeye. I always like Rocket. I'm always a big fan of anything Rocket's in. He's one of my
Yeah.
favorite characters. I like the little raccoon. Um,
Trash Panda.
he's our great trash panda. I love the trash pandas.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I mean, overall, again, it's free to play, so there's no major monetary investment, which is great. Um, the big question to me is staying power.
Yeah.
Um, they're gonna have to figure out their competitive scene quickly. They're gonna have to figure out balancing quickly. I've heard some complaints online about like the teams are kind of like three DPS and a healer right now. You know, like I don't think they've kind of got figured out the roles between tanks and healers and DPS yet. Um, it's early
Yep.
days for the game, but they do have to figure it out quickly because gamers will move on fast.
Yeah, I would say like every time that I played, I haven't actually played online with friends. And I feel like that would probably make a difference, but playing just randomly with a
Mm-hmm.
random god, like my I feel like my healers never did anything. I'm like, where are you?
I think most of the time I didn't have a healer.
Yeah, or they're not there. And I will say like this is going to be very interesting because if you look at the I'm gonna make so many people cringe. Watch our numbers are gonna drop like crazy. Um, when you compare it to like Fortnite, I know, but they are very successful with like continuously re-releasing like or coming up with new characters and like new ways to draw you in, like, and they'll come out with like Ninja Turtles and like I don't know this, that, whatever, like whatever appeals to like little 9-year-olds and adults. Um, and it's going to be really interesting with how Marvel Rivals can do that because they do have like a limited, I guess you could release like skins and stuff, like change the outfits. You could do retro outfits, futuristic outfits, but you're kind of like limited to Marvel, if that makes sense. So I don't know how you're going to keep the audience like addicted to it.
I think that if you Marvel has such a deep well of characters, right? That they can keep introducing more and more and more and more, right? Get Mr. Fantastic in there, right? Wait till next year with this Marvel Rivals game and then do a big launch of all the Fantastic Four right as the Fantastic Four movie comes out.
Wait, when is the Fantastic Four movie
Next
coming out?
July.
Is that going to be like the second movie I've ever fallen asleep to in theaters?
I don't know. This is an MCU one, so I'm hopeful. Um, so I think there's a lot of tie-in stuff you could do. You could tie it into MCU releases. You could tie it into a lot of other things, adding
Yeah.
characters. They already have Squirrel Girl in there, for God's sakes. Um, I tried Spider-Man for a minute, but man, his web slinging like stuff is hard to control.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I
Yep.
tried Iron Fist for a second. He was kind of fun for a minute, but it's hard to play a melee guy in that.
Yeah.
Um, so again, if they get their competitive scene up and running and they get some good balancing and good matchmaking, like I think it has a chance to do well.
Okay.
I think it's got the good bones of a game.
I mean, it's free. Like you really don't have anything to lose. Like just downloading the game and just playing. Like
Nope.
give it
Excuse
a
me.
go.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know for
yeah.
sure. But yeah, let us know what you think. Have you already picked up Marvel Rivals? Or are you planning on picking it up? You gonna give it a shot? Let us know.